Your dog has lipomas, these benign fatty tumors. Do any of the natural remedies work? In this edition of Veterinary Secrets, I'm going to be showing the top 5 new and emerging alternative treatments for lipomas in dogs. Hello, welcome back to my channel. If you're new, welcome. Click up there to subscribe, hit the bell to sign up for notifications, and when you click that link directly in the box below, I can send you a copy of my free book. Lipomas, these benign fatty tumors, they are so common in our dogs. Pippi, the friendly yellow lab who's been in so many of the videos, she happens to have a few. Here's one right under Pippi's left armpit. When I grab the skin, you can see this sort of 1 or 2 cm by 1 or 2 cm round, soft, cyst-looking structure. It's soft and movable, easily moves under the skin, and it's located on the chest wall. It's a pretty quick and simple, easy diagnosis. You do a fine needle aspirate, put a little sample on a slide. Instantly, you're going to see they're just fat cells. So what Pippi has here, this is a lipoma. It is a benign fatty growth. It's just a whole bunch of fat cells encapsulated in a fibrous tissue capsule. How and why do lipomas form, you may be wondering? Turns out we're not 100% clear. What we do know is there's just an excess number of fat cells. We know that genetics, definitely that plays a role. It's chronic inflammation, which is rampant amongst people, amongst our dogs. Let's believe that's also playing a big role. Knowing all that, these are my top 5 natural remedies that you should be using right now to help your dog with lipomas. Number 1, the keto diet for dogs. You need to be feeding less of this stuff, these simple carbohydrates, much more of this stuff, animal protein. These simple carbs, like this pasta, it's rapidly converted into glucose. The glucose, if it's not immediately used, then gets stored and turned into fat. And what you're seeing here, dog kibble, most of it, simple carbohydrates. And the second part of the keto diet, which has been beneficial for so many dogs, you're adding in a specific fat. This is MCT oil. It's a type of fat isolated from coconut oil. When you have animal protein as a primary source of food, you add in MCT oil as a primary source of energy. Then you get the body using ketones as a form of energy as opposed to glucose. And that can go a long way in increasing metabolic rate, a decreased reduction in the number of fat cells. Guess what? Lipomas can start shrinking. Ideally, you're feeding less of this stuff, less of the kibble, more just 100% animal protein. But if that's not feasible and affordable, at the very least, look at getting a kibble, which is much higher in animal protein, something like what Tula is on here. If you're adding in MCT oil, start at a really low dose. I suggest as low as 1/4 teaspoon per 10 pounds of body weight daily, eventually upping that to 1 teaspoon per 10 pounds of body weight daily. But even just a small amount of the MCT oil, that can go a long way in boosting metabolic rate. Number 2, just so happens to be this greenish tea. This is green tea. And this here, this is green tea extract. Green tea, it's known to be anti-inflammatory, and it's also been shown to increase metabolic rate. And I'm really confident talking about green tea because I've done prior videos in the past talking about specifically lipomas, and green tea consistently comes up as the one remedy that has been really beneficial. There's a relatively small amount of caffeine in green tea that's still considered safe for our dogs, especially when it's given at an appropriate amount. You can brew up some green tea, let it sit and steep for 20 minutes. A standard amount would be about 1/4 cup of this green tea per 20 pounds of body weight daily. Easiest thing would be just adding it into your dog's water. And if you're using a standard green tea extract, this one includes 400 milligrams of green tea extract. We're looking at doses of 1/4 capsule per 20 pounds of body weight daily. Number 3, this is immune supportive supplement, which also increases metabolic rate. This is colostrum. Colostrum, also known as mother's first milk, it contains all these immune cells. Essentially, it's providing the initial immunity when you're born, your puppy, your kitten was born. But it contains so much more than that. I mean, it's being used to protect the gut against non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drug injury. It also contains specific growth factors. It's a darn super safe supplement, probably really underutilized in veterinary medicine, and it can be really beneficial for your dogs. A pretty standard dog dose, 100 milligrams per 10 pounds of body weight daily. Pippi would be getting 1 500 milligram tablet once daily. Number 4, super impressive anti-inflammatory. This is 95% curcumin. Scientists think that one of the main reasons lipomas are developing is chronic inflammation. So if you can decrease the levels of chronic inflammation in your dog, potentially you can go a long way in decreasing the development of these lipomas and or helping them shrink. The curcumin is the active ingredient from the plant turmeric. It has been well documented potentially to be the most important supplement for chronic inflammation. So it really could make a big difference in terms of helping you treat your dog's lipomas. Standard dose of Dr. Jones' high absorption bioavailable curcumin. It is 250 milligrams per 50 pounds of body weight daily. Number 5 this is a flavonoid supplement isolated from citrus. This is rutin. Flavonoids are some of these beneficial nutrients found in peel, for instance, in orange peel. That's where you can find rutin. There's a condition where all this fat, it builds up within the lung cavity called chylothorax, and the only treatment which is shown to be effective is this, it's rutin. So rutin's an anti-inflammatory. It plays a key role in ensuring you have normal lymphatic function. And there's now some thought that the development of lipomas is related to the lymphatic system not functioning properly. So the rutin, it can decrease chronic inflammation. Secondarily, it can ensure that your dog's lymphatic system is functioning normally. A dog rutin dose, 250 milligrams, which is one of these capsules per 50 pounds of body weight daily. Will any of these remedies help your dog with lipomas? I don't know. But what I do know and what I've seen is pet parents such as yourself that have modified diet in terms of decreasing the amount of carbs, increase the amount of protein, adding in things to help increase metabolic rate, i.e. the green tea, they've seen a reduction in lipoma size. And if you try a few of these remedies, you find that they're helpful, I'd love to hear your feedback. Thanks so much for watching this edition of Veterinary Secrets of how to help your dog with lipomas naturally. Click up there to subscribe, hit the bell to sign up for notifications, and when you click that link directly in the box below, I can send you a copy of my free book.